talking about the Jordan documentary. We were talking about Kobe Bryant and Mark saying he had a newfound respect, even though he did not really like Kobe while he was playing.
As a ball player.
As a ball player, right. Same here.
Well, no, there was an issue I didn't like. Not even to get real deep on it. I didn't like the whole thing about when he got caught up in that situation, how he named Shaq. I thought that was inappropriate.
Right,
It had nothing to do with Shaq.
Right.
So.
You telling on Shaq because you got caught doing something. That was weak.
Yeah.
So, talked a lot about it. I thought that people would say something. There would be more controversy about Jordan talking shit about Kobe in the locker room when he was like, man,
he don't let the game come
number 8. He go 1-on-1.
Yeah. What was he messing with? Because the whole time he was messing with whatever he had in his
tape or
head.
something. I don't know, but he was talking mad shit on Kobe, and really it got blown off as, you know what, he was saying that because that's how he is, and it turned into kind of nothing.
Right.
I don't even remember what episode 6 necessarily was about. Just more of the Bulls, like back and forth. I enjoy seeing the 98 stuff. That stuff was a little real. And then I enjoy how they do flashbacks. They go from 98 to 86 or 87 or 88, whatever it is.
Right.
I enjoy the little timeline leaps and all that stuff. Here was a controversy. So, I'm just going to say, I'm bringing up LeBron because it was LeBron people that was like, oh, Jordan was snitching. Why would him, Scottie Pippen, and Ron Harper were drinking beers after the game. And Jordan just was like, man, it's a lot better than when I started in the league. Dudes were smoking at halftime. Dudes were getting drunk at halftime.
Listen, first of all,
that's not snitching.
Let me touch on that. That was no way in snitching because Jordan did not mention one name. He said the team. That could have been.
He said guys.
Guys, yeah.
He said they were bumming cigarettes from the coaches.
That could have been. See,
so?
I think the people who felt some kind of way, like Craig Hodges, I think, said something about this, correct?
I don't know.
I think the people who felt some kind of way are the people who are actually the ones that were doing the cocaine or what have you,
Right.
Jordan didn't name anybody. I mean, could it be viewed as snitching? I guess, but...
But that would be like me telling you, hey, when I was in college and we took a trip to North Carolina, we had my suite mate was from Toronto.
Right.
And so this is a segue, but it's relevant. So we had this English dude on our team. And me and my suite mate, we would sandwich him, right? Like, so I would sit like a couple seats in front of him or behind him, and my suite mate would be the opposite. And for some reason, my suite mate, he would drink milk, but it just gave him like horrible gas. And he would just from wherever he was, he would be like, Henry, can I release the pit bull? And I'd be like, hey, salesman, release him, let him out. And he would like fart, right. And then take his pillow and swing the pillow, and this dude would be knocked out sleeping, right. And it would wake him up, and he would be so mad. And then we're in a like an elder care or like a handicap type bus. Like it was one of the, not a huge bus, but it was
kind of elevator thing.
Right, yeah.
The lift.
So we would be driving. And after a while, Kirk would he just would keep doing it. And then after a while, our coach, who had this like mealy voice, and our bus driver was this old dude that had a huge, like this old redneck dude with a huge beard, always wore a baseball hat, and his name was Shorty. And after a while, the coach would be like, hey, Shorty, pull this bus over. These guys have to use the bathroom. And it was like the funniest thing. That's not snitching. That's just telling a story about, that shit happened.
But you know what I think the problem is? When somebody's viewed in such a positive light, okay? I don't care who it is. You can pick any sport, act, and whatever, what have you.
Just picking.
Yeah, you find something to pick at the person because you can't really find anything bad about them. I've said this myself because Remember, I grew up a Dominique Wilkins fan. So to say, I just told my nephew the other day, I'm going to go get me a throwback Dominique Wilkins jersey.
I'm surprised you don't have one.
I am too.
I have a Jordan
Do you?
one up there.
Yeah.
It's not one of those super. I think it's.
But
Remember the champion ones way back in the day? You get it.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
Champ
yeah,
Sport.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I got. I got a black one upstairs.
So being that I'm such a Dominique Wilkins fan, back then when I had something to say something about Jordan, it'd be like, oh, he got a bald head. Oh, his sneakers are terrible. Or something.
Anything
Because
you can
right, because there's so much positivity involved with Jordan. Okay? Whether you want to just make it about his career as a ball player or you want to make it something else, there's a lot of positivity about him. Are there some negatives? Of course. There's negatives about anybody. Kevin Garnett became my favorite player after Dominique was gone. I didn't have a favorite player. Right. For a long time, didn't have a favorite player. And it became Kevin Garnett. Something resonated with him.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in Kevin Garnett's career, I realized how terrible of a person he was to people that he played with.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even some of his own teammates for that matter. He wouldn't talk to Ray Allen when Ray Allen went to Miami.
Oh, wow.
He took it personal. And Ray was like, I don't know what the deal was. I didn't have no problem with Kevin Garnett. His problem was with Rondo, apparently. Ray Allen and Rondo didn't get along. So there's negatives about anybody that you see positive. I don't care who there is. There might be a pastor you think's the greatest person in the world. I'm sure if you dig enough, you'll find something negative about him. Not necessarily immoral, but negative.
Somebody's going to say, oh, he's stealing from the collection plate.
Right.
Whether he is or not, they're going to say it because they need to pick at something.
At something with the person. So I think that's what the problem is.
It is because they were, what was another thing? The gambling, for example. Oh, his gambling. If he has the money, who cares what he's doing?
Right. He never went broke from it.
The dude is like one of the only black billionaires in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he still gambles. You could see him playing the quarter game, him and the security guards tossing
That
the
had me
quarters.
cracking up.
Yeah, it was funny.
But see, that's where I'm getting to the point of where him being so competitive, I use the word detriment, but whatever you want to call it, it's almost like he couldn't stop.
But he was competitive in a fun way. He was,
he
when he was doing it with them, he was losing, and he wasn't he made a joke at the end, hey, security, come get security out of here.
Right.
Get your asses out of here. But that was fun. You see he's laughing and all that stuff.
I will say, one of the main things I found out watching this documentary so far, and I didn't think it would be that, he seemed likable outside of the practice court.
If he wasn't playing basketball. Yeah.
Right. He seemed very likable.
Or competing in.
Maybe even somewhat approachable because, of course he runs into the security guys every day or what have you. But, sometimes there's people who have an air about them. You know what I mean? If you're not one of the actors, if you're not one of the wrestlers, or you're not one of the boys, get out of here. I have no reason to talk to you. He didn't seem like that at all.
Here's where here's another thing that I thought would be controversial that was not. So Randy Brown comes in, asks Michael for a ticket, and Randy Brown says, "Thank God." Thank God I got a ticket for whoever he needed it for. And Michael turns around and he was like, "You just did. You just thanked him." And then Michael started, he was like, immediately, "It's a joke. It's a joke, people. Relax. It's a joke."
Right.
And then Randy started messing with him, "Nah, I hope y'all got that on camera." Blah, 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 blah. And Mike's like, "Oh, man." And I think he knew instantly, man, somebody's going to take this the wrong way.
Yeah, I tell you, yeah.
And especially that's 98. In today's society where people are so sensitive and people are ultra sensitive.
Yeah. He'd be apologizing somewhere or something like that.
That's where I was like, man, he's gonna catch hell for that. But surprisingly, I didn't really hear too much about it. I heard a lot about the gambling on the debate shows.
I'm gonna tell you the one thing that bothered me. The one thing out of this whole documentary that really bothered me. And I wasn't on the bus. I didn't hear the conversation he had with Horace Grant or whoever he was talking to. But they said something about him not supporting the Democratic guy that was running for office. He said Republicans buy sneakers too.
Right.
Like all they cared about was the sneakers. Now, I will say, not knowing Michael Jordan, I don't personally know him. Not knowing Michael Jordan, I would think that he was more about the money than anything else. I don't know that to be a fact because I don't know him.
Here's where it. Two things. One, he said, "Man, I said it in jest. Like, I wasn't being fucking serious."
Right.
Which you have to take him at his word for.
Right.
Secondly, he said his mom asked him to do it.
Right.
And what he told his mom was he wasn't comfortable doing it because he didn't know the guy. Mm-hmm. And that is 1,000% understandable.
Absolutely.
Why am I supporting this guy if I don't know shit about him? Mm-hmm. He might, whether he's black or white, his policies might be worse than this racist white dude that's running.
He could be a piece of crap, yeah.
So I 1,000%, and this is not just because I'm a Jordan fan, but when Michael said that, he said, "Look, I wasn't comfortable supporting him because I didn't know him. I didn't know anything about the dude. I'm not going to get up on TV and talk about some dude I don't know." Now, two things. He could have learned about him, but as he said, he's like, "You know what? This is in the middle of my basketball season. That's my focus. I don't have time to do research."
He wasn't into politics. So
I don't have time to do research.
Right.
And then he said, "I did donate shitload of money to him." So why isn't that enough? In today's society, I think LeBron has set a standard for speaking out and social issues and all that stuff. And that wasn't necessarily the case. The only person that did that back then was like Muhammad Ali, and there was a gap in between when Muhammad Ali was doing it. Kareem was around the same time, but there was a gap between them. No, you didn't hear Magic Johnson. Nobody ever complained about Magic Johnson not speaking up about social issues.
That's true.
Black issues. Julius Erving. There was never a complaint. There was a long gap in between Muhammad Ali, Kareem, and
I would add Jim Brown in that fold too.
Jim Brown was probably a little bit before Muhammad, so it was Jim Brown, Muhammad, the two guys I can't remember their name that black-fisted the Olympics.
Jesse Owens, I forget that.
Not just it was Jesse Owens was sprinter way back in
he was, but
this was the hurdler guys. They were hurdlers.
I don't remember the hurdlers.
Yeah, that was in the 70s.
Jesse Owens.
Yeah, no, Jesse Owens was sprinter Hitler. He won the games.
I know, but he put his fist up.
Did he?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did not know that. But still, there was a gap in between that group of guys and now LeBron. You can't name one guy in between that group of individuals and LeBron that was speaking out on social issues. There's not one. Not one superstar.
Not one that I can think of. So
there just isn't. So it's unfair to put that on Michael Jordan, whether he's the most popular of superstars, because he wasn't the most popular in Magic and Birds before 84, 85.
Right.
I mean,
that is a fair statement. I think we kind of, I guess, however strong your heroes are to you, once again, you kind of pick out stuff.
Hindsight being hindsight, I would venture to say Michael Jordan would probably say, you know what, maybe I could have done it a little differently. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. But hindsight for us to say, Jordan should have been more outspoken. No, that's unfair to him. It's unfair to Julius Erving, all those guys that didn't say a mumbling word. It just wouldn't. No football players, baseball. Name a baseball player that's ever been outspoken.
Yeah.
Can't.
Yeah.
The only football player you can name is Kaepernick.
Yeah.
You can't name, it wasn't Walter Payton, no. Barry Sanders, wasn't
Barry Sanders
LT was too high. I know it's your boy, but LT was too high.
I didn't like LT for his off the field antics. I liked him for what he did with the number 56 on it.
He was a monster.
Yeah. I want to go back to something while we're talking about the Jordan documentary. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was around, of course, before Jordan came into the league. And Adidas.
Did you pay attention to basketball?
I did, but not as hard as I did.
I didn't know shit about basketball.
I knew a little bit about it, but I learned more, as I got older. But I did pay attention to what sneakers people was wearing. And to me, coming up, Adidas was way more popular than Nike ever was before Jordan signed them. Now, I looked at the documentary. Jordan wanted to go where?
I agree. I'll agree with that.
Oh, shout out to Run DMC.
No. I grew up soccer life. The only shoes I ever remember is Adidas Samba Classic Soccer. There wasn't. I was sitting here trying to think, like, damn, I don't remember what kind of shoes I wore before I started buying Jordans. But it was literally, I wore soccer shoes all the time. And they were Adidas. And I think Diadora. Diadora were like the top line. Diadora were the top line soccer shoes back in the day.
Growing up where I grew up, the west side of Wilmington, all I saw was either Pumas, okay, shell tops, or Forms.
I have a pair of Pumas.
Okay, or Hustlers. Nike Hustlers, which is Nike Cortez. We call them Hustlers. You know what Nike Cortez is?
I think so. They're like the running shoe type.
They're running shoes, but they're more casual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We used to call those Hustlers, for reasons you can figure out on your own. But those were the sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
So when Jordans came out, that kind of upped Nike's game. That's when Nike really started. Like you saw Nikes everywhere. You know what I mean? Even if it wasn't just Jordans. You know what I mean? And honestly, I do like Jordan 1s, but they're probably the worst looking ones in the lineup, in my opinion.
They are the. I'll tell you this. Being a basketball player, they are the worst
shoes to wear. Yeah.
Horrible. It's almost similar to playing in Converse All Star.
Side note: what is Converse All Star or Chuck Taylors? Or are
Taylors.
They're the same? Okay.
They're the flat.
You know what I'm thinking?
Hard.
Wasn't the Magic Johnson joints called All Stars?
No, they were the weapon.
Okay, cool.
It was the weapon.
So
it was all of them. Dr. J, Isaiah, Larry Bird, and Magic.
Yes.
It was all weapons, and they all had team colors.
The Dr. J's, those were kind of standalones because they had his name on
Red, white, and blue.
Yeah, but he had his signature on them. I had a pair. I got them late, but I had a pair. But on a side note, since we're talking about uncomfortable shoes, what's the most uncomfortable pair of shoes you ever worn? Because you named mine, but I'm going to go into it a little bit.
It's Converse, Chuck Taylors.
Yes. My buddy, Sir Blanco, I love you to death, man. I don't know how you do it every day. All he owns, I think if we went to play basketball, he doesn't have a regular pair of sneakers. They're all Chuck Taylors. I mean, he has like the Thundercat Chuck Taylors, the Mega Man.
Well, you seen mine, right?
Yes.
The superhero ones?
But that's all his Chuck Taylors. He does have the regular kind.
I hate wearing them, though.
They're the most uncomfortable things. You can
they
feel
hurt my
every rock
ankles.
you step on.
They also hurt your ankles. So, like, whatever the material on the side, it rubs your ankle and it hurts. Like, I hate wearing them.
Let me let you understand something. I can't feel my sides because I'm worried about the bottom of my feet walking in those things.
I would never, ever, ever play basketball in those shoes.
No.
I would never run in those shoes. Like, I already have a torn Achilles tendon. I would be scared to death.
I went over my buddy Sir Blanco's house one day and we were going to go somewhere and I said, look, I was in my work boots. I said, I'm going to take my work boots off. I said, can I borrow a pair of sneakers of yours? Now, I wear 13. I think he had a size 12. I'm like, well, the Chucks kind of stretch
They'll
out.
stretch because they're canvas.
I said, let me borrow a pair. Dude, it was the most uncomfortable, however long I had them on, ever.
I played basketball, no bullshit. You know the black, like, military police boots?
Yeah.
I've played basketball in them, and they're more comfortable than Chuck Taylors.
I believe it.
Like, I actually, like, was dunking in those things. But Chuck Taylors, I would be so scared to jump, run, do anything. Right behind that are those Air Jordan number 1s. Horrible. People talk about those Air Jordan 11s, the patent leather. Oh, they're patent leather. I didn't give a shit about the patent leather. Those shoes, it was like having a trampoline underneath you. Like, I swear, Mark, I swear to you, I never forget it. Our team shoe when I went to Western Maryland, which is now McDaniel College, was Converse. Our coach got us these fucking god-awful Converse. Terrible. Hard, whatever. One game, we went to Dickinson College. We were playing Dickinson College, which is in Carlisle, PA. And I was like, I am not wearing these motherfuckers. I left them home. I brought my Jordans. Man, it's on tape somewhere. If I can ever find this tape somewhere around here, I'll show it to you. I had a steal in the first half and just like did a one-hand crossover, and I just took off from like the dotted circle, and the dude jumped with me, and he was like down here and just boom, hung it on. Everybody in the crowd was like, and I was like, God damn, I didn't even know I could jump that hard.